In Minnesota, they may be freaking out because Carson Wentz will be starting against the Bengals. Jake Browning starting
different
for Cincinnati. Jake Browning's kind of got that little chip on his shoulder because the Vikings had him at one point and cut him, and he's already beaten them once, so I don't know that still lingers. It probably motivates him. If you have something that can motivate you like that, you may as well use it whenever you can. But for Carson Wentz, this is where it's interesting. He grew up a Vikings fan. And now, for the first time ever, you've got a guy at quarterback who's going to start for the 6th different team in 6 different seasons. From the Eagles to the Colts to the Commanders to the Rams to the Chiefs to the Vikings. And here's the key. He's played a lot of football. And he was an MVP candidate way back when. I don't know what he's got left. Here he is from earlier in the week on getting an opportunity yet again to start for yet another team.
No, it's definitely given me a different perspective. Going from being a starter, just traded, cut, all the things, then being a backup the last 2 years behind some, future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, getting to see it done at a very high level has given me some perspective. Also just the perspective of not taking this for granted. You never know when your next chance is going to be in this league. The league's hard. 2 years ago, I was at home until mid-November. It's not something I want to take lightly or take for granted. So I've definitely got a lot of perspective, both from, physically seeing how it's done, but also just the mental side of, being appreciative and not wasting any opportunity.
Yeah, look, he was a full-time starter through the 2022 season. And then he was forgotten until November, joined the Rams, started a late game in the season, and then last year signed on with the Chiefs pretty early. He's showing up with, kind of like a 1-year advanced degree. Well, when you consider he was with McVay for a while, then he had the whole year with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We're going to see what he's learned. I'm just surprised the Vikings didn't add him earlier. They trade for Sam Howell. They had Brett Rippon, undrafted rookie Max Brosmer. The first 2 guys didn't look great at all during the preseason. When it was time to figure out the final roster, Howell's traded, Rippon's out. Let's sign Carson Wentz. It's like, man, why didn't we do this a while ago? Like, I don't know. Did he want too much money? I don't know. But you'd feel better about Carson Wentz playing if he'd been there for the offseason program, training camp, and the preseason. He showed up at the very end of August after they trimmed the rosters of 53.
Mike, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. There's a reason off the record is such a good tool at times for those who do what we do. Because you find out information that people won't necessarily tell you on the record. So the reason, why do I say that? If you look at Carson Wentz on the surface, you'd say, well, what's the problem? I don't understand. You mentioned the last time he started. The last time he started a full season, he had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His team won 9 games with the Colts. So 27-7. You win more games than you lose. And you know what that team said? No, sorry. That was the year Frank Reich apologized to the late Jim Irsay for recommending Carson Wentz as their quarterback. And he had 27 touchdowns and 7 picks. My point is, there's something beyond the obvious with Carson Wentz that causes teams to say, oh, wow. And then, no, that's okay. And I just wonder, is that fair? Is he past that where he was, 5 years ago with the Colts where they couldn't get him out of town soon enough, even though those numbers look pretty good? Is his time, or did his time with Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Andy Reid, Sean McVay turn him into a guy who says, look, I know what I did wrong in my past, and I'm ready to contribute as a backup now. I don't know, but it would make me a little nervous because he's got, on the surface, it looks good, but the reality is a little different.
It is amazing. He did 27-7 with the Eagles in 2019. 21-7 in 2018. In the year that he was on track to be the MVP, 33-7. High-end analytics, he's going to have 7 interceptions this year. May not have 7 touchdown passes, may have fewer, but 7 seems to be his magic number of interceptions. There had been issues dogging him in Philly with bad teammate stuff. And that started to trickle out 2018, 2019 timeframe. Because the Eagles fans, like, they win a Super Bowl with Nick Foles and they got to re-embrace Carson Wentz. And it was a weird posture for them to be in. But once a report started coming out about, he's not a great teammate, and he kind of acknowledged it, which is surprising. It shows some degree of self-awareness, but I don't know where he is right now. But you've got a guy who has played a lot of football, 94 starts in the regular season. You've got a guy who has seen his football life pass before his eyes a couple of times. And how many more opportunities is he going to get? And he was the same draft class as Jared Goff. Goff was 1, he was 2, a year after Winston and Mariota. So, I don't know. I guess the Vikings could do worse, and they have. My son was fretting about this last night, and I said, look, they brought Josh Dobbs in off the street, and look how well he did. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens here, because there's a chance it's going to work. There's a chance it's going to work. Pound the ball with Jordan Mason. Get the ball to Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson. There's Adam Thielen. There's a chance it's going to work for a while. But that's all it has to do if J.J. McCarthy comes back. That's when it gets interesting. And I addressed this question yesterday, Michael. If Wentz is playing well, you apply the 100% rule to J.J. McCarthy. You don't take his job away from him. But if Wentz has the hot hand, you let him keep going.
Right. You said there's a chance it's going to work. It will work. I mean, Kevin O'Connell knows quarterbacks. So it will work for it. The question is not will it work, but just how long will it work? So it'll work for, I mean, that first game, he'll look good. He'll look good because most quarterbacks playing for O'Connell, he makes it easy. He should probably, write a book on quarterbacking. I mean, quarterbacks really, he's a user-friendly coach. So they kind of understand what he sees it. They understand it. It translates. Does it work for a couple of weeks? Does it work for the rest of the season? See, it's an interesting question, Mike, because who's J.J. McCarthy at this point? I know big picture, he's the future of the Vikings, first-round pick, top 15 guy, but he hasn't really established himself as a starter who deserves, hey, you deserve the ball back. You're out for a month. A guy played great in your absence. We went 3-1. Now here's your job. He's not at that level yet in his career.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.